Hello, everybody. Welcome. There is a fan in the back. It is running, not away from me. Keep your peace because it is very important. Keeping your peace is one of the most important things you can ever do. It is the most important thing, I believe, other than like eating and like having a place to sleep at. And I mean, all of that is part of keeping your peace, anyways. What I'm going to specifically talk about is keep your peace. It is very important. That's what I'm going to talk about. That means don't let anything take you away from your peace. I was reading this book called Veronica Decides to, you know. I'm not gonna say the words because I don't know if that like makes YouTube do something. Anyways, basically, she's this girl is in the hospital. She's with another girl. This other girl has a monologue, right? And she's talking and she's basically saying there's this another girl that this first girl wants to talk to. And this first girl is about to go talk to that third girl that I mentioned. But that third girl's in the middle of doing something that's making her quite joyful. The second girl stops her, halts her, and tells her, hey, you shouldn't do that. Because she's doing something she enjoys. And if she does that, if you go and interrupt her, she will not be happy and she will not be kind to you. So wait till she's not doing something she doesn't, that she, wait till she's not doing something she enjoys. And then she'll be more likely to help you out. Basically, what she also said, well, the first girl, Veronica, she thought to herself, wow, it must be basically nice to not stop doing what you like doing, not doing what you're having fun with just to make somebody else happy, you know? Does it make sense? Basically, and that kind of hit me like, yeah, it makes sense. Why would you just stop doing something you like doing for somebody else, you know? And there's one thing is like to help out others, like mom asked for something, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm talking about like people who don't really like, they take you away from doing, like, I'm talking about specific situations about getting things kind of taken away from you. Like if you're really enjoying something, why would you stop and do something else that you don't enjoy? Does it make sense? And people always like to twist things. I'm not talking about like being genuinely kind, something that might take a second, helping your mom out because she's has the groceries and they're heavy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like genuine happiness and taking your time away from those things to make others feel better about themselves or happy, or to make them feel good about you, you know? It doesn't make sense. My nose is very itchy, so I have to like itch it. Anyways, gist of this is just keep your peace. Your peace is important. Sometimes people around you might act out of anger, out of a certain emotion. And the anger, because that was like my most recent one, or it could be annoyance, or it could be they're just miserable. It could be something like that. I'm gonna talk about these things because positive emotions, like they're making you feel better. Why would I talk about that? You know, indulge in that. If people are good and they got good like energy vibes, whatever. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about like people act out of anger towards you, like all these things, and you're not in the wrong. And you already worked hard. You're tired. You don't have to deal with that. I'm not saying like stick the middle finger to them and like forget about them or anything like that. Like be rude and simply walk away. You have to figure out how to protect your peace. But nothing is worth your peace. Nothing is worth it. Nothing is worth your peace. People might say like money or something, but let's not even go there because if you got money, you're not in peace and you're miserable. What's the point of having it? Doesn't really make sense. But yes, keeping your peace is very Very, 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 very important. Okay, don't let nobody take that away from you. Because guess who's living your life? You. Don't let your girl, your boyfriend, don't let your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friend, your coworker, don't let your job take peace away from you. Because it's your life at the end of the day. And if you're living your life miserably to please others and not to really like please yourself in a way, pause, not like that, not like that, but to make yourself feel, like in peace, do things you like, sometimes you just gotta say no. And part of protecting your peace is knowing that you're gonna have to say no to things, and that's all right. That's all right. A lot of people get scared to say no, or like, oh, you have to, not everybody, but some people, like, they don't protect their peace because they feel scared to say no to people. Like, they feel scared to say no to somebody they love or care about. Like, you're not being rude. You're not sticking the middle finger to them. You're not saying they don't matter. If they take it that way, they take it that way. If you don't mean it that way, you don't mean it that way. Keep your peace, you know? There's different ways to show love, different ways to show that you care. Don't let people and the way they react or the way they act dictate how you act and how you behave and how you feel. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. It is not. It's not worth it. It's not worth you feeling good. It isn't. It is not. You shouldn't take things because somebody's going through something, and sometimes it's like the right thing to do and you have the energy to do that, and that's cool. But don't do it just because you feel like you have to. Don't do that. Don't do that, because guess what? It's gonna come at the cost of your peace. Do things because you want to do it, because you're like, it genuinely just comes out at the moment, at the spot. Like, damn, like, let me help this person out without even a thought, you know? It's just like, you just do it just because it's like that. But once you start thinking about these things, it's like, now, now there's like a debate going on in your head of whether you should do it or not. That's not good. It's not good to be like, you should do it. When you be kind, it's because you have the ability to be kind. You maybe have the time, you have the space, you have the energy, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But it'll come naturally. You'll just do it. But when you're like overthinking about it, it's like, honestly, I think that's just, well, it's because, like, you're just thinking. Like, if you didn't think about it, you would just do it. All right? But sometimes some people, like, people pleasing tendencies, you know, that and I think that's bad. That's bad. I'm not saying you're a bad person for that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're a bad person for that, because you're not. It's just a mistake people make. It's a mistake people make, okay? And that's not a good thing to have if you're trying to keep your peace. Sometimes you just gotta learn to please yourself in a way. People please yourself. Turn it around. How can I say yes to me? You gotta think, how can I say yes to me? Even if it means saying no to something else, or to someone. You have to say yes to you. And yeah, and I think just doing this just, well, I'm gonna go on a tangent. I'm not gonna go on a tangent. Let's just take it back. Just protect your peace, people. Do things that will protect your peace. Like, eat good. Take time to, like, care for yourself. And I'm not saying self-care and you gotta read 40 books and you gotta write a journal. I am not saying that. But I am saying you gotta protect your peace. You gotta, like, if you're struggling with a lot of emotions, you have to let them out. And in a good way. Not on other people, okay? Definitely not that one. Not on other people. You cannot do that. Do things. First, protect your peace. Sometimes it might feel, I'm not gonna say it's gonna feel lonely. If it feels lonely, then it's just like, I don't know, there's something. I don't know. But maybe it might feel isolating, I guess is the word. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. There's a lot of things you can do with people and still keep your peace. Figuring out your own time, okay? Figuring out your own time, figuring out what matters to you, figuring out if you even like eating certain foods, or like if you want to take care of yourself, or like what you want to do to take care of yourself. All of that matters. It's all important because it all goes on in here, right? Those decisions happen in here and then they happen in real life. And if you're not capable of making those decisions, and not even making those decisions, kind of making them like you don't need to make those decisions. You already know yourself. You know what you do want, what you don't want. You know those things are very important. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself from certain things, certain situations, certain people. You know, sometimes you just gotta separate yourself in whatever way that means. That doesn't mean isolate. No, separate. That way you can figure out what matters to you. Put yourself in different situations, which can help you figure out what really matters to you. You don't have to stick to one thing, okay? If a job ain't working out for you, people are being rude, whatever, and things just don't work out, move on to the next thing. That don't mean quit and like have nothing. No, it means apply and do this and do that, and then when something else comes up, then move on to the next thing. That's that's the way to do it. Sometimes just things aren't right for you, okay? And that's okay. It's part of protecting your peace. You gotta just be like, this ain't good for me. It ain't good. It's hurting my mental health or something like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes taking a break, just don't cut it. You know? Sometimes you need separation. And that's it. And then things work out. If it's with people, don't be afraid. If they leave, that's on them. That doesn't mean isolate yourself, but maybe you gotta separate yourself from like some steamy situations, and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself from people. Don't be afraid they're gonna leave. Don't be afraid. Be like, you're doing things for peace. If people around you don't understand that, that doesn't mean you're giving them the middle finger. Like I said, that doesn't mean isolating yourself. But sometimes you gotta work on your own schedule, and that's okay. Okay, that's okay. If people leave, then they left. It's just that simple, and that may hurt. But don't think that way. Don't think if they leave, and like, don't think about that. Your main priority is focusing on your peace, focusing on that, because that brings joy in life. There's being happy all the time, and that's like impossible. But there's having joy with life. That things can go wrong, but you can still find joy in the things you do and the everyday activities that you live. So find, like, you gotta protect your peace. Don't, like, it's not about people leaving or not leaving. Like, you can't control that. You can't focus on that. That's not your focus. People attract, right? When you have peace and you have this joy in life, people get attracted to you, to the point that you don't gotta think about, are they gonna leave, are they gonna like me, are they gonna not gonna like me, because you're gonna attract that, like, good. You're gonna attract that, like, very, like, like that energy that you want. You're gonna attract that like, it's just gonna come. You know, you don't gotta think about it. You don't gotta over analyze it. It's like, it's just gonna come. Pause. But you gotta focus on these good things. Okay. Okay. Have a good night.